All right, we're live. Welcome to this moment of 1/11, January 11th in 2026. I'm Keegan Anatole, and I'm with Sarah Lauren, who has a beautiful community project she wants to share with us today. And it is a wonderful year um, to be uh, exploring these type of projects, and that's my goal and Sarah's goal. So let's that goal brought us together for this conversation today. Um, how are you, Sarah?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Keegan?
Great. I'm excited to start off. This will be my first kind of jumping back into making content. I kind of took a break over the holiday season, and I'm excited to kind of revive the Law of the Earth channel on YouTube and to be collaborating and making the world the best possible place and learning together.
Yes, absolutely. It's awesome to be able to connect with other people who are doing the same thing and collaborate. It's a first for me to be able to do this, so it's really special.
Ah, cool. So where are you in the world?
Georgia, the South.
Okay. I'm currently staying at my folks' place in California. And it's been kind of a culture shock for me coming back into the United States after being in Europe all of last year. And it's been a beautiful adventure. But so like, and I think you said you're originally from the West Coast as well. So how did you end up over in Georgia if you want to share?
Yeah, I'm from San Francisco, but I've lived a lot of different places, England, Japan. I'm definitely a city girl who's now turned like homesteader. So it's pretty interesting. I live in the middle of nowhere now. Yeah, the culture shock. I haven't been to Europe in gosh, over a decade. So what did you notice like the most difference between the United States and living in Europe for a year?
Well, I was living in Montenegro, so it's quite like going back in time in a lot of ways. As far as like the way that people build their houses, like it's kind of very kind of simplistic. They just use like bricks and concrete most of the time, and it's um, they have online banking, but it's kind of a new thing, and you have to pay extra for it, at least in the bank that I was working with, and things like that. Uh, so, and obviously we have this culture of hurry here, which they are quite reactive against over there. They're kind of like when you go and have a coffee, like you need to sit down and drink the coffee, just like they say "Lako Polako" there, and they say that in Serbia and in Slovakia, in Slovenia, and it's like a Balkan saying, which means like take it easy, take it slowly.
Like chill
So
out.
coming back here, like and like being with my parents and stuff, like things are like kind of pressure, like let's move, let's get it, let's activate and move forward already. People aren't as patient, I guess, but everyone has their unique experience. That's just kind of mine.
That is interesting. Man, to be the bridge between the two worlds and ways of being is what we need, I think, to find that balance. So it sounds like it's a little challenging. It would be overstimulating for me, but also you probably bring a certain level of medicine just to your experience there in California, to the people around you, bringing that slower pace to them.
Yes, and it does create a little bit of friction, but I'm all right with that. It's it, as I said, turtle medicine, kind of slow and steady wins the race. Or is there even a race? Like, why are we racing? We're not actually racing each other. We're actually just walking each other home. Right. So that's remembering that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
who made up the race?
Good question. Uh, yeah. So I mentioned that you're building a community, and me
Mhm.
being in proximity to my parents right now. Actually, my mom jumped in and became a member of your community. Do you want us to tell us about it? It's called Freedom Lovers Only, and it's for parents and families. So do you want to share like what it is and how you came to be the creator of this?
Yes. Your mom is one of the OGs in the group, like one of the first ones in. It's awesome. Yeah, so I came upon the idea to create this group out of like a need that I saw in my own life. I'm a parent, and geographically, I'm away from the world, and yet I want connection and community. Also, so like I went through a very intense year in 2024 of training in the tantric philosophy and Taoism to be an embodiment coach. And I found a lot of people in that space that I was learning with were single and had a very different lifestyle. You know, they could just hop on a plane and go live in Mexico for 8 months or go to Costa Rica for a month or, you know, kind of just go anywhere, do anything. And I felt left out. I was like, oh, but then I realized, you know, but there's a lot of parents who would really benefit from this body of work. And actually, probably I would want to serve those people the most because we are literally raising up the next generation of humans who are going to take on the leadership of this planet, of our home. And so what could be more important than imparting the wisdom of embodiment, that lived experience to parents so that they can come home to themselves and feel present and alive for their children and have energy throughout the day. So I created the space to support them and that. And I know a lot of us want freedom, like in all areas of society. And I want to learn alongside these parents in my community how to create freedom. So, like, as an embodiment coach, I'm providing these daily bliss rituals to them to help with embodiment and regulation and things like that. That's the inner work. But for the outer work, like, I want to learn with them about how to grow food in our homes and our backyards. And a lot of this has come about from just necessities. Like, my 5-year-old was in Montessori for the last several years. He was in the baby room and then he was in their preschool room for a couple of years. And I had to pull him out of school so he didn't go there like starting the fall of last year. And now I'm home educating, which is not something I ever planned to do, but it's the best option for us. So I know there's a lot of other parents going through that as well. What if we all come together in community and share our resources and where we're getting things to educate our children and how we're managing our time? Yeah.
Wow, that sounds super important. And bliss rituals
Okay.
sounds like a magical thing. I'd love to have an experience of doing a bliss ritual. That sounds great. But so yeah, I would love to, before we get into that, like, what do you, like, why do you say that home education is the most, like, the best way, best option?
For me, I think it's different case by case. The schools in this area, the public schools, are not very good. And I do feel like they're kind of educating humans to be workers rather than free thinkers. So that's not really an option. I prefer Montessori, but I can't even do Montessori if they implement regulations that like it's a requirement you have to do this thing for your child to attend, and if that's not in alignment with my truth, then I'm not going to do it.
Mm, yeah. And I've heard of many others who feel that same way, and I think it's really wonderful that you're creating a space for them to come together and to share perspectives and resources and what's working. Do you want to speak just a little bit about what approach you're taking or what you find helpful as far as doing home education?
Well, there is interest-led learning, right? Curiosity-led learning. So my son really loves music. He can listen to a song and be like, "Oh, did you hear that guitar? It was a really smooth sounding guitar." I mean, he's 5. So he clearly has an interest in music. So we actually joined a school community with other people learning guitar, and we just spent a little bit with his guitar learning that. He's already like, he would be in kindergarten, but he's already pretty much mastered kindergarten and first grade So now we're like, well, what do you want to do? Like, you want us to learn Spanish and play guitar and plant food in the backyard with me. So we are doing things like recognizing mathematical patterns in nature and we're going to learn together like how to regenerate the soil and things like that. We already have a garden. We grow basic things like radishes and peppers and kale, but we want to definitely step it up a notch this spring and also move some of that indoor, create like an indoor nursery. So it's really, actually, we have that space at least until summer to just kind of see what is alive for him that he wants to move towards and learn more of that and connect with other people doing the same thing.
I love that. What is alive for him and the living soil? That's like things we need to find connection with again. And so encouraging that that's what he's interested in. And, you know, and that you're partnering with him in that way, right? To explore his passions. And, hopefully that sounds like it's something that you're passionate about as well. And that's just fortunate when we share those, if we can share those with our children. I don't have any children myself, but you know, I have been a part of families doing work exchange on many different farms and homesteads, like in many different countries. And so I kind of have had like a mentor kind of role with many children around the world. And it's just such a, enlivening experience, right? They're little balls of energy and activators of curiosity, and remembering, um, the imagination and the just the passionate connectivity that they experience and that we can experience when we connect with them and with that energy again. Really beautiful.
Yeah. I started something in 2025, writing my children a letter, like for the year, like about their life. And I really want to write this down for my 5-year-old. He has this thing, he's had it for a couple of years that he does. And he likes his privacy when he goes into his imagination. He will literally say, Mama, I'm going in my imagination, so please give me some privacy. And I'll be like, okay, cool, you do you. And he goes into his imagination in the other room, and you just hear like, shoo, shoo, whoa, like all these sounds. And I'm like, that's awesome. He is in his imagination. That's like his superpower right now.
That is a superpower. And it's something that we, like I said, we get disconnected from. But like being on the path of the healing arts myself, there's a saying that our imagination is one of our most powerful tools as a healer, and our power to visualize and to create an experience for ourselves. People studying the law of attraction, and there's a wonderful philosopher named Neville Goddard that I was recently introduced to, that spoke about just the power of the human imagination. Actually, he defined Christ as the power of imagination within mankind. I found that really interesting, as like our creator capacity to envision a world into being, and then as we persist with that visioning, it forms itself around us. So do you have experiences with that happening?
Yes, absolutely. I love Neville Goddard, by the way. So that's awesome that you mentioned that. Yeah, that's part of basically one of the foundational elements of Freedom Lovers Only, actually, is I'm really wanting to help myself and other parents align with natural law and kind of get away from man's law, but align with natural law. Like you were saying, the race, like, isn't that man's law? But the first core element of Freedom Lovers Only is intention setting. And that is based on the law of attraction, the law of suggestion, and sometimes people refer to it as the law of focus attention. So, what we focus on, our energy follows that and it grows and it becomes our reality. So, consciously setting intentions for the day, for the week, for the year, for the month, for the moment, for a conversation is a powerful practice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I from a number of different sources I've heard that, and in tandem with a cultivation of gratitude, which is why this initiative that I've been creating in the past couple of years, it's called Integrate Fullness, and it's about cultivating first that gratitude, which naturally gives us more things to be thankful for and opens us up to possibility of receiving. And so as we're more grateful for the things that we do receive and for the opportunities to give and to create. And with that, that's kind of like preparing the bed, with fertile soil in your garden. And then what you're just speaking about is like planting the seeds, right? The intentions are the seeds. And so within that fertile soil of this space of gratitude, of gratefulness, of opening us up to a connection, a communicability, if that's a word, of opening up the channels of communication and living our prayers into being and planting the specific intentions of the seeds of what we want to see flower in our lives. So that seems like it leads us right into the space of the bliss ritual you mentioned, which is so magical. And I'd love to hear a bit more about what that is and how it serves this process of bringing the intentions and helps people in this return to natural law and connection with the aliveness and helping their families come together and transcend and be all that we are.
Yeah, so this kind of just started doing bliss rituals, and then along the way I realized what I was doing, and then I realized it was called bliss rituals. I love studying etymology and the meaning of words because I think words are so important. Like the Four Agreements says, be impeccable with your word. So part of my unlearning has been around religious conditioning and really looking at, well, what do these words even mean in scripture that I'm reading? And am I allowed to read things other than scripture? Yes. Well, then I started doing that, like reading other ancient scriptures from different cultures. But this story that was seeded in me at a very young age of the Garden of Eden, it's kind of my understanding of that, my comprehension of that story is kind of like a turning point in my own integration journey. So what I was told was this woman, Eve, ate an apple and sinned and was kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Okay. But when you start looking at these words and what they mean, the name Eden means bliss. What if heaven and hell were a state of mind? And it's something that we create, right? Out of our own experience, out of our own emotional relationship with our reality. And what if a return to Eden was possible if you restore a state of bliss? And I reached blissful states a lot since doing integration work. And I want to bring that reclamation to other people because I think something interfered with cosmic order and we started following a different program, man's law, out of alignment with cosmic order and natural law. And the word ritual means cosmic order. So if you have a daily practice of doing a bliss ritual, you are reinforcing to your nervous system, to your body, mind, the experience of returning to a state of bliss in alignment with cosmic order. So
Wow, that's so interesting. I haven't heard of it defined in that way, cosmic order. I think of, ritual as a word that like comes with the word rite. And so like we have rites of passage and, that sounds just like the word right, like our rights, which are kind of like the things that are due to us. So it's all, for me, I see like a confluence of meaning towards creating order. Or it makes me think of Dan Winter, who speaks about this, force of neg entropy. He calls it like the opposite of entropy. So entropy is things breaking apart. It's kind of like the force of chaos over time. It's causing us to the telomeres in our chromosomes to break down and cause aging. And neg entropy, or also can be defined as bliss, which you said Eden means bliss. So interesting. Also something that I haven't heard from anyone before I started talking to you is this if we can be in that energy, then it's creating, like, we are organic, right? We are increasingly organized, and this is the organizing principle. So yeah, can you want to kind of guide us through an experience of a bliss ritual so it can experience what it's like to be in this energy?
Yeah, I would love to. And you're absolutely right about the word ritual. And it's like this idea of a lawful established order. And the meaning, the cosmic order meaning that I get from it stems from the Sanskrit rita. And that just comes from, the tantric background with learning about that philosophy. That's how I stumbled across that little nugget. But yeah, I would love to guide you in an experience. And just to let you know, so there are those three core elements of bliss rituals. It's intention setting intention for your space that you're stepping into, that you're creating. And then resourcing. So always resourcing and safety. And for each 15-minute embodiment practice that I call the bliss ritual, I always guide you in how to resource during the practice, but it takes courage to go within and to meet yourself and to come home to yourself. And so, resourcing by regulating your nervous system and grounding in the present, in touch, is very important. And then also, these practices over time develop your ability to engage in energy retention, not leaking energy, not feeling exhausted all the time, but coming alive, like restoring your ability, your aliveness, and your ability to connect with your own energy in a nourishing way. I want to do a little exercise with you, Keegan, if you're open to it, just to kind of lead into it.
Great. Let's try.
Okay. So, if you start by saying your name out loud, I will give you an example and just notice as we go along what sensations arise in your body. So, you say, my name is, so I would say, my name is Sarah Lauren.
My name
Is it
is
true?
Keegan Anatol.
So, is it true that your name is Keegan Anatol?
Yes.
Is it absolutely 100% true that your name is Keegan Anatol?
Yes. Is this a trick question?
Would you bet $1 million on the fact that your name is Keegan Anatol?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, what does that feel like in your body to say that when you say it? Do you notice any sensations?
I guess I feel more charged. I feel more energy.
Okay, so now say, my name is, and then I am alive.
My name is Keegan Anatol. I am alive.
Is that true?
True.
Would you bet $1 million on it?
Yes.
Okay. What does that feel like in your body?
Yeah. More charge, more energy. It's like I feel like almost at the point of laughter. Like, oh no, I'm gonna have to bet $1 million.
Okay. So now say, my name is, I'm alive, I am me.
My name is Keegan Anatol. I am alive. I am me.
Okay. And what does that feel like in your body?
It feels true. Yeah.
Look, so when you hear those words, my name is, I'm alive, I am me, you hear them land in your body, and you know that it's true, you start to recognize this quality of truth landing in your body. This is the felt sensation of truth living in your body. It's what it feels like. So, when you know that you are who you are alive, you are you. My name is Sarah. I'm alive. I am me. I have this knowing that I belong to myself and I love myself. And I can
Mm.
feel that in my body. And I feel what that feels like, the expansion, the warmth. And I start to connect to that felt sensation. So, with that, I'm going to invite you, if it feels safe, and you can just go along with the bliss ritual if you want to just close down your eyes. So, we're going to imagine drawing a gold ring of light around you, like on the floor, like a sacred circle. You're just going to draw a gold ring of light around you. This activates your ritual space. And you can see an iridescent bubble of light gently forming around you, creating a safe zone where you can come home to yourself fully. And I invite you to feel a crown of light settling on the top of your head, and know that you are the sovereign being of this practice. Notice the sensations that are alive in your body right now. The emotions connected to the knowing, to the truth of I am me. From this place, I am alive, I am me. Connecting with those sensations. See if you can amplify it. Turn up the volume on this feeling of knowing what is true in your body. Let it flow through every part of you. This truth, the felt sense of it, through your bones, through your cells, through your organs, and your energy body. I am me. I am me. Notice how your intuition, your deep knowing, responds to this experience of coming home to the truth of who you are. I am me. From the pelvic floor, feel a pillar of light rising up through your center all the way to the crown of your head. This pillar is you. I am me. I belong to myself. I invite you to connect with this knowing. Connect to this truth. I belong to myself no matter what. I will keep coming back to myself and align with my truth no matter what I experience. What would it feel like to own my truth in this lifetime? That's freedom, the ultimate freedom. To know, even if I failed, I would belong to myself. I love myself. I am me. Even if I'm in pain, I belong to myself. I am me. Even if I failed, even if I succeed, even if I fall into the most magical love, I belong to myself. I love myself. I belong to myself. I love myself. When the whole world hates me, when the whole world judges me, I belong to myself. I love myself. When the whole world celebrates me and loves me, I belong to myself and love myself. If I'm in debt and struggling with money, I belong to myself. I love myself. Even if I make millions of dollars, I belong to myself. I love myself. And even if I'm hiding and playing small, I am me. I belong to myself. I love myself. Even when I'm on stage, my voice unleashed, I will not abandon myself because I am me. I love myself. I don't abandon myself to anything. Not social expectations, not power, not the lure of wealth, because I know that I am me and I love that I am me. Now say to yourself out loud or in your body mind, I know who I am and I know what I'm guided by. I invite my North Star to show up for me now. This is your inner compass, your deepest truth, direction, purpose, or aligned path in this lifetime. When you love yourself, you come home to yourself, you start to do what you love, and you find your compass. What do you notice happening in your body? Any felt sensation that arises, ask it, what is my North Star? Don't force it. Simply hold that question in your field, in your body, and let it respond in its own time. With your body still saturated in the felt experience of the truth of I am alive, I am me, gently ask, where does my North Star live in this body right now? Scanning your body mind. Notice any area that feels like truth, that has that flavor. What is the quality of your North Star? Does it feel like warmth, golden light spreading outward? Is it a magnetic pull towards something bigger? Is it a vibration? What does it look like? Is it a word? Maybe a color? Or a vision? Whatever happens, see if you can turn up the sensational experience of this quality. Let it grow brighter, stronger, amplify. Breathe into that exact place in your body mind, letting the rest of yourself soften around it. This is your somatic North Star, as real and undeniable as the knowing that I am me. Life will leave you clues if you pay attention to what's happening when your body lights up, expands, feels true and alive. Your North Star feels as true as the knowing that you have of I am me. Listen for the signals. Follow this felt truth as an invitation to embody the fullest expression of who I am. Thank your body for showing you what you needed today. And now I invite you to allow this iridescent of bubble of light to gently dissipate. The golden ring of light dissipates as you keep your crown on. I invite you to feel golden roots growing deep from your feet into the earth, grounding you. Imagine an auric egg surrounding your entire being, protecting your energy, your being, and the truth that guides you. Taking a final breath. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
Wow. What a beautiful experience. Thank you so much for guiding us through that. I had
Yeah.
so many different ideas of inspiration come to me during that. I also, like you, I am somebody who loves to contemplate language, and like the word idea itself is like comes from dea, which means goddess in Latin. Uh, and the I dea is connecting with that fertile field, like the unmanifest, the womb of creation from which we all come, from which everything comes. And I loved how you said "I am me." It reminded me of when I used to sing in a choir on the beautiful garden island of Kauai, and that we had a song that we sang, and the first lyric was "I am me," and it said also "I am courageous, I love, and I am powerfully here." And so I was kind of feeling the echoed memories of singing that song with a group of people, which when you were saying "I am me," and I love how that's just a feeling that connects, like that statement is a feeling. It invokes a feeling that connects us with our authenticity, and we can trust in our own authenticity and the power of who we naturally are, that it is a gift to be who we are. And it's what we're here to do is just to be that authentic expression of who we are. And when it fills me with awe, of that, that empowerment, of that connection to the truth. And, the word awe is in authentic, or it's in authority, because we are the authors of our life stories. And so I feel empowered to write, the future chapters when I step into this space, and the present chapter. Right. And, yeah, so thank you for guiding us through that. There were many more floating, beautiful inspirations, ideas that came to me during that as well, and that's why I want to author and write them down.
It's so exciting. It's the somatic experience is so powerful, because when you are in that state of bliss, it's beyond thoughts and words. Thoughts and words don't matter, because they don't hold a candle to the fullest expression of who you are. So it's hard to explain these things, which is why I prefer to just take people through it.
Right. Well, it's one thing. I mean, it's one thing to, even if you were the most amazing at explaining them, it's one thing for us to hear an explanation, and totally a different thing to have a lived experience, right? So there's no comparing, and the valuable experience is the lived experience, not the theory or the way that we can extrapolate or explain it in concepts.
Yeah, totally.
So, so that's why it's important, right, to make it a ritual that we return to, right? To organize this as a habit, something that we put on and wear as our sacred connection, like an abbot wears a habit, a monk wears a habit, because they have this habit of prayerfulness. So how can we, how can we integrate that into our lives?
So if you decide you want to, first of all, and then just like with anything, if I wake up and go to the coffee pot and enjoy a cup of coffee and that's part of my routine, I just go back to that every day. If I work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11:30, which I do, um, then that is part of my routine. So just decide you want to make it part of your routine and pick a time and do it. You can tune into my bliss rituals every day. I have a different one. So you can do that
You have a
inside the
different one every day?
community. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not always a guided experience. Sometimes I'll teach you something like tapping and like kind of encourage you to come up with your tapping phrase and do your own tapping thing and just kind of walk you through it. Yeah, you can make it a ritual, and what you'll notice is when you return to this state just for 15 minutes a day over and over and over again, it ripples out into your life, and before you know it, your whole life becomes a living ritual,
Hmm.
embodied experience.
Great. Right. So how do we tune into your daily uh, bliss ritual?
Yeah, so I will drop a link. Or you can I'll give you the link to drop somewhere
Uh-huh.
to my school community. You can also just go to school and type in Freedom Lovers Only, and it'll pop up. I mean, you don't
This
have to
is the
be a
platform.
parent
This
to
is
join. Uh-huh. Yeah, school. And anybody can join, so
great. Freedom
yeah.
lovers only. I love it.
Uh,
And this is a brand new thing. And what are your hopes and aspirations as far as work with this community? Where do you see it leading?
well, where do I see it going? I have no idea. I honestly don't know. I have just been following the next step in
Mm,
front of me and then just watching the magic around me happen without expectation. Although I am looking forward to learning alongside a supportive community of people how to implement different things to embody freedom, because this is just the one thing that I offer people to support them on their journeys, but there's so many people that have so many things to offer. I know you've got some knowledge in permaculture, and there's people world schooling. There's people who are geniuses in delivering subliminal messages that we can listen to at night. There's all sorts of things that we can do to create the more beautiful world that our children deserve.
great. And so you're just moving with the inspiration, following that, tuning into that feeling of your North Star. That's another beautiful thing that came through during the bliss ritual for me, is like feeling and actually seeing like this North Star in the sky. And I had this vision of a wheel and like on like the helm at a ship, like I'm steering towards the North Star. And I know that like in certain traditions, that I've got the privilege to be a part of in my life journey, when people like call on the four directions and in a prayer ceremony, the north is like associated with community, and I know that this is the direction. And so I was literally steering my ship, in my mind's eye, I was steering it towards this north star of being in community and being in connection, like all these wonderful people that you're talking about, and all the gifts that we have to offer one another, and the enrichment and the freedom that comes from that. Uh, and another interesting thing linguistically is like true. What's true is like if you ever had your bicycle spokes trued, it kind of gets you going straight, right? It's this balancing mechanical operation that you can do to make sure that the wheel is spinning straight in the direction towards the North Star. So those are all just ideas that get me excited that came through um, while being in reflection. But yeah, I'm so excited to be in connection with you, Sarah, and with this new community that you're stewarding and initiating. And I hope that it will, you know, it will be a lighthouse for people that they can gather around, and like they'll find their North Star within and find all these wonderful connections. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so awesome. And I love that you're a language nerd like me. I didn't know that about truth and the true and the wheels. That's very
Mm.
cool. The
It-
spokes in the wheel.
yeah, I speak about this, in terms like we have like the level of distractions that are available to us in this day and age is like so exponentially more, and like more
Mhm.
persistent. They're like more available, like so easy to become distracted. And that's a word that I often speak about, as opposed to traction, right?
Mhm.
Distraction is like the undoing or the opposite of traction, and traction is like getting a grip on the earth. And so if in order for us to progress forward, we need to have traction. So we need to be in touch to have a hold on the earth. Otherwise we're spinning our wheels. And but I mean, generally, if you ask somebody what's the opposite of distraction, they would say focus. And that word is the word folk, which means people, and us
Mhm.
together. So if we can focus, we can come together, right, to hold a space together to explore these seeds, to tend the seeds of our intentions of being in connection with the earth and with one another, finding our independence, allowing our children the freedom to explore the things that make them come alive. I am so hopeful, uh, when we do that, we'll find our return to Eden, to bliss.
Yeah, we remember it. Remember that we're here already. All we have to do is remember. It's so
Mm.
simple. It's the cosmic joke, right?
That's a quote from Bill Mollison, the creator of permaculture, which is essentially, a return to the land. Bill
Mhm.
Mollison was, he was involved with trying to change policies in the Australian government back in the 70s, when he was just kind of disgusted with the way things were and the fact that they were not getting change in a positive direction like he had hoped. And he decided to go live out in nature and reconnect. And so the quote that he says is, though the problems of our world are increasingly complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple. And it's just a question of remembering to implement and finding the support that we need to implement these simple solutions, of being in touch with the earth, of learning about the things that are important, that actually come naturally because we are part of nature.
Absolutely.
So we know intrinsically within us how to live on this earth. Uh, it's just that we need to return to the awareness and find the opportunities to implement and to express that. So
Yeah.
we can help one another do that. Uh, so let's remain in connection. And yeah, I'll leave the link below. You can check out the school, Freedom Lovers only, and yeah, keep tuning in and keep returning to this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Awesome. Well, many blessings. Happy 1/11, January 11th, and blessings, everyone. See you again soon.